Hey everyone, welcome to the show, My So-Called Fabulous. I'm Tiffany. Welcome to season 11. I am so proud to say that because it's been 6.5 years and over 250 episodes. We come to you every single Tuesday and it's been a labor of love and it's been fabulous. And that's why we call this My So-Called Fabulous. Some days are fabulous, some are not. So in selecting to kick off season 11, I found the most fabulous person right across down the street in Dallas, and we became very fast friends last year. We've done projects together, and I can call her my friend. But I want to read this to you. This is season 11. And if there's one thing I know for sure in this stage of life, it is fabulous, and it has no expiration date. We live in a culture that quietly suggests women should soften and silently shrink, slowly disappear as the candles on the cake multiply. But not here, baby. This season, we're celebrating reinvention, visibility, elegance, and the audacity to evolve, which my guest has done that. And there's no better woman to open this new chapter of my life and my season as my guest today. Sonia Lovett, the woman behind Style Beyond Age. Go right now and look her up on Instagram. Was born in Cape Town, raised in Buenos Aires. She says it much more beautifully than I do. Shaped by a life between cultures, she learned how to adapt without disappearing and how to stand firmly anchored into herself. Chic, if you're on YouTube, check it out. Polished and unafraid of reinvention, Sonia embraces the belief that elegance and strength can coexist. Today we're talking about confidence, we're talking about aging, visibility, and why women do not expire, they expand. So if you've ever wondered if it's too late to evolve, too late to stand out, too late to take up space, this is a conversation for you. Welcome to season 11. Let's begin. Welcome to the show, Sonia.
It's really an honor to be there. Thank you for that introduction.
Oh my gosh, you are fabulous. I've watched you, I don't know, how many years have you been doing this?
Well, I started when I was 65 years old and I'm 73 now. 73. So you do the math. You know, that's just too scary.
You've been doing it a while.
Scary. I've been doing it a while, and it started actually, like most of us, I have reinvented myself. In my case, as I look back every decade. And after my daughter left to go to school and was on her own and independent, I picked up some of the things I always loved to do. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the things that you love as a child, at least in my case, have expanded as I've gotten older. Because when I was in BA, Buenos Aires, we used to have a large estate, so there was room for me to play. And I used to like to build furniture for my dolls. So instead of playing with the dolls, I would play with the wood and the hammer, and then I'd go out and set up the room, and then I'd bring my dolls in, and I actually had sewn the clothes of my dolls. But anyway, as my life has evolved, it occurred to me, I am doing now, on a major scale, what I used to love to do then. So just a thought, if you look back at what you loved as a child, perhaps there's an inkling of an idea in there. Because as life grabs us and moves us along, we're running so fast that we're just dropping things as we go. We've all been in that position,
yes,
right? Hurry up and get
raising children, yes,
doing all of that. So I think my real passion actually is architecture.
Yes, you've told me this.
So, and I like to build something that will last past my lifetime. And typically, or always, I will draw out the plans. One time my husband made me get an architect. I was very offended, but anyway. But I also run the cruise. I am not so interested in the fixtures and the lighting, and I'm not so interested in that as I am the guts of how it stays up.
Wow.
So, and that's what my house in Montana was all about, and I knew it was my last one, and which leads me to your original question going around the mulberry bush. That's when I reinvented myself into this style beyond age.
Style Beyond Age, and when you started this, was fashion the platform, or was it architecture, or was it?
No, fashion was the platform. My daughter talked me into it. I was extremely reluctant. I had never been on Facebook or any of that. I'm from a pretty old-fashioned European background, so all of that, you knowing what I'm doing, was not acceptable. So, so when I first finally gave in, my daughter named it Style Beyond Age. My daughter encouraged me, as you know, she's a stylist in film. And I noticed something about myself. I did not like to expose myself or be in front of the camera or do any of that. So as you go way back into my feed, I'll have a hat on and I'm looking down at my shoes.
Wow.
And what triggered the difference in me from then and now is that I decided Style Beyond Age was an avatar for me.
Really?
So once I pulled myself away personally from Style Beyond Age, I had my personal opportunity, because everything's in our head, to go ahead and just show people. And a lot of times, and not to control the topic, but a lot of times I would like to say something, but to me it's so natural that I think everybody knows that. And I think a lot of us go through that. And if everybody knows it, why would you post it?
Right.
And then I hear women say, oh no, you're wrong. Not everybody knows X, Y, or Z. So that's the next hurdle that I'm going to approach.
Because is it surprising to you that people are coming to you now for fashion advice, for anti-aging, for aging gracefully? You know, we call it all kind of things. We've worked on projects, aging projects together, and anti-aging, I guess you could say. But I think, are you aware that people turn to you for that?
Well, Serena told me that my real skill set is with skincare, actually. And I have studied skincare since I was a teenager. I used to make my own face oils and body oils. So I've studied a lot about what negates the other one and what kind of skincare is out there. And for a long time, there really was no skincare out there at all for women. Forget it over 50 or 40 or whatever, for women in general. It was all just the placebo skincare. So I was thrilled when medicine got involved. And now we're having actual anti-aging, and they've tested products and they've tested different things we can do, like microneedling and, as you mentioned, Ellicor and all the other things. And so what I really believe is, when we look at the mirror, the reason we put on makeup and dress well and take care of our skin is because that signals our brain what age we're feeling. Because they say the cliche, age is just a number, and it's really, really true, because aging is up here, not here.
Right, it is. It is. It's very true. Sonia and I worked with Ellicor last year, and we were in New York together working. There were three of us, a woman in her 50s and one in her 60s, and then Sonia in her 70s. So there was three of us, and I think she looks probably better than all of us. But we went through Ellicor and we met, and honestly, that campaign did help me shed a different light on aging and not shrinking, and just being around you, for sure. I mean, you have so much positive energy. And I think having that positive energy and that outlook on life, you've been through some struggles in your life. And yes, and I think the people, it happens to everyone. You know, when I talked about having a dry vagina 5
Yeah,
years ago
I
in
remember that.
menopause,
Yeah,
I finally said it,
Yes.
and the number of women were like, "Oh my
Oh, yeah, me
gosh, you do too?"
Yes.
Well, no one's talking about that. Well, I'm here to talk about it because you don't need to feel alone. You know,
Totally.
you don't need to feel alone
Yeah.
at all.
The thing about that, for instance, talking about what we would bring up and what we wouldn't, I started bioidentical hormones way back. I had a hysterectomy whenever, in my very late 40s. Part of staying young is not remembering time, I think, because I couldn't tell you when that was.
Right.
You know. So, then I went up to the house in Montana, and my sister, who's a world traveler and investigates everything, 3 years older than I am, looks younger. She told me about this doctor that she had in Montana, and she had gotten on bioidenticals. And it was a very taboo subject. It was related to breast cancer, this, that, and the other. But I got started, and part of my energy and part of the fact that my skin and my shape is still
Yes.
reminiscent of what I used to be has a lot to do with that. So, but that's a completely different.
But it's true. It's true. It's talking about it, because I remember when I started the show, I was doing the same thing, and people are like, "You do that? Aren't you scared? Aren't you this?" And it's like, you know, do your research. Of course, do your research.
Right,
But find the right
And
doctor.
make your own decision.
Exactly, and make your own decisions.
Yes, because then you are not scared. Scared is a word I do not deal with.
You don't deal with that. do
No, I
you?
don't deal with scared.
I want you to tell a story, and I didn't prompt this, but you and I talked about it in New York. You are from, you came from a background, you had a large estate, and it was taken over. You were telling me you were shopping for crystal or something.
Yes.
Tell us the story, because it's your history.
It was bittersweet going back a few months ago, and you're right. So when I was a young girl, there was a revolution in Buenos Aires, and the tanks were going through the streets. I can't even, sorry about that, I can't even see a military display without getting
Really?
tight in the heart. But at any rate, at the time of the Peronista era, which was right before my time, it's been about 100 years now, excuse me. So all the people that had colonized that area and invested in it and had family traditions there pretty much lost everything, because the Peronistas came in and took over everything, and the dollar, or the peso at the time, obviously, went down to nothing, and people had to reinvent themselves. So when I went to BA several months ago, I just took this alley. It looked like an alley, but it was really just a walkway, and there were antique stores there, and I saw the most beautiful china and silver, and I talked about it just a little bit. It was bittersweet, because there were families that had lost that.
Yeah.
And if you ever go to Buenos Aires, take a look down that alley.
Right.
You will find the most beautiful, beautiful things. And our family treasures that we have left are here in the house in Dallas that
Thank goodness.
fondly call the museum.
Absolutely. Life is a museum.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that history made you who you are. And
Totally.
we were laughing before the show, because I've had a couple of starter marriages, of course,
Yes.
but it's all lessons learned, making me a better person, you know.
And a stronger person.
And a stronger person, right? What do you say to women that just can't find the strength, that just can't find the strength to go daily, you know, because you're not afraid of the word scared. That's not your word.
Yes, but I learned not to be, because I have been there, and you, way you balance out your need for the family structure and the financial structure and all of that with the, I'm just going to use the word freedom. And that's a very, very hard decision. Even when you know what you have to do, and it takes a while to get there, it's very difficult to do.
It is.
But as I look back, and just go do it, girls, not giving any advice, but as I look back, I was always better off starting from scratch if I had to than I ever was being in something that was not working out.
Right.
So that kind of energy is what gives you more and more power as you go through life. And the power, it's a soft power, it's a confident power. Sometimes it's a rude power in my case, but there's also that tempering that you have to do between I am free and being just a little overzealous.
Right.
Let's just say overzealous.
Right,
Shall we?
absolutely. And
Yeah.
you know, the power of those feelings of starting over, and you have the opportunity to start over.
Yes.
You know,
you
just,
make your opportunity to start. There are many women that are considering a move and they don't have a way to start over.
right.
But they really do. They just are looking at it through a different lens. It's very scary just to put
Oh.
yourself out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
And
is.
I commend every woman that at least thinks about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, we are, I'm not sure when I started late in the game of content creating and influencing and podcasting and all that. Started late in the game in 2018. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'll never ever get there. You know, it's just that
Sure.
consistency that you,
Yes.
but started late in the game. But I remember when I started, I don't feel like there were many of us out there.
It's true.
There was not many women doing what we're doing. And I have made a vow that I will not retire. I will always keep my mind working, for sure.
Because if you, my husband says you're working too much. And I ask him, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
I was raised, my father always told me you can do whatever you want to do. He never had this male, female, never. You just go get it.
Right.
And so, yes, I think part of aging, or at least staying fulfilled in your life, has to do with what it is you're doing that is for you. That could be going to a church that you help children in. It could be starting a business. It could be doing your podcast.
Right.
For me, it happened to be this, or building a house, or whatever. But if you don't have a raison d'etre, that's when, in my opinion, you start getting that terminal drop, and then fear comes in and all sorts of other emotions that are really not healthy for you.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right.
You know, a little bit of fear is a good thing, but tenacity,
Right.
for me, is much better.
Right. Do you feel like brands are now taking notice that you don't have to be in your 20s to be in the content creation space?
Ew, so glad you mentioned that. Because let's start with this. In the United States, women are diminished as they get older. It's just a cultural thing, it seems like. In some other parts of the world, they are honored, venerated, and lifted up. They become the matriarch of the family. They are the ones that continue the family history. They're the ones that talk to the grandkids about the past and tell them about their experiences. Here, once you get a certain age, it's taboo because you can't, or you're not interested in going to the baseball games or whatever the case may be. So that's the first thing that happened in our culture. But this demographic is a very wealthy demographic because a lot of women that are now turning 50s have worked for a good portion of their life, and they are a great consumer. So the reason we are more upfront with them is because of the money.
Yeah.
It's all about money in
It
the
is.
end. So now let's take advantage of it. We shouldn't be offended.
Right.
We should take advantage of it. So now the clothes are edgy, but not all the way edgy like you're 17. You know, we're getting, and you will notice too that as trends come and go, air quotes trends, you see the same things coming back.
Yes.
Brooches, for instance. I've had a collection
this,
of brooches forever. They've always been part of my lexicon, and Now, all of a sudden, it's all about that.
Right.
But women our age already know that. So I am glad that a slightly younger generation than us, is getting a bit of that culture back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't care for trends, do you?
Well, that's an interesting thing about trends. I want to stay relevant, and relevant is a very important word to me. I don't call it a trend, I call it relevant. So let's just say we have the woman, not to offend anybody, that's wearing, back in the day when we first got started in this medium, so they're wearing skinny jeans and high heels and a sweatshirt trying to keep up with their daughter. Right. That's never a good look, ladies. You're way too advanced for that. You're way too advanced for that. So I look at a trend as staying, again, relevant. So I would not wear the sneakers with the white socks and the leggings like all the girls are doing now, but I will wear a flare pant with a high heel, not that that's related to each other at all. So take a look in the mirror, know what your figure accepts beautifully, get great underpinnings, foundations. That's very important.
Huge.
And there's been such a huge advance in underpinnings or foundations or whatever you want to call it. Get your body as easy for silk to flow over as possible, and know your style. That's it. And then look at the colors that you use, and use a mirror or an expert or whatever, and work on the colors that suit you now. Like my hair used to be dark, then it was blonde, and now it's white, and now way under here it's coming out black again. So I have some changes coming my way.
What's going on over here? Oh my gosh.
My doctor, my husband, tells her, look at Sonia's hair. It's beautiful now. And I said, well, it'll be beautiful later. I'll look like Jay Leno. You can cut that out.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so that's my advice. Trends are great because they keep you, the third time, relevant. Other than that, I mean, take a look in the mirror and you know what works and what doesn't. And we're kidding nobody.
Right.
You know, if we are confident, we are relevant, and we're in style.
Right.
I don't care who thinks what.
Exactly.
Right?
That's true.
That's right. It's all up in your head.
So I'm going to talk to you about this, and I have not said this publicly. I've said it to my daughter. So there's this dress to your age, okay? Dress to your age, okay. I want you, because you did a story on this last summer when you and Serena were traveling, or did a post. I work out 5 days a week.
Yes.
Very hard. I have my entire life since I
you.
was a child. It's been my life. I work out every day, 5 days a week for sure. I go to Cabo, to our home there, and I feel like I should not wear a bikini. Yeah. Can I wear a bikini? Damn straight I can.
Yes, and I hate wearing a one piece. For me, freedom is everything. So the less fabric stuck to me, the happier I am.
Right.
And I did make a post when I think I
Yes,
was.
you did.
Yes, you're right. The first thing you do, of course, is eat well. We all know that. But what does that really mean? Unfortunately, it has something to do with sugar, but I don't want to go there because I still love my sugar. But anyway, it turned out that I was bloated. So if you're bloated, regardless of your shape, you're never going to feel good.
No.
Because you're bloated.
You're bloated.
So I remember texting my homeopathic doctor in Montana, Jennifer Hawes, and she reminded me of two things. So I'll do vitamin D, and it's slipping my mind now before I go to sleep.
Magnesium.
Magnesium, yes.
Magnesium glycinate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I take that at night, but what I have been doing is apple cider vinegar, hot water, and a lemon with a little bit of honey, just a drizzle of lemon, a drizzle of ACV, apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of honey if you want to. in a little bit of hot water. Drink that first thing in the morning. I have a nice glass of water in the morning first off, and then I have that first. It takes care of your bloating.
Really?
Within days, you'll never be bloated again.
Oh,
Kid you not.
we have got work
Yeah,
to
I
do.
think I put the recipe up in one of my posts from
Okay.
a year ago or whatever.
Right.
But that's been a game changer for
you.
me because our food, our digestion, as you know, you have some of the greatest experts talking about that here on your Medium. So it's all about your car, because I always say, another Sonia quote, you wouldn't put diesel in a Maserati.
No.
I rest my case.
Really, this is true. But you know, it's just that I sometimes feel like I'm 61. I know I can wear it. I know it. But then I have this, I think it's my mom. My mom's deceased. But it might be on my shoulder.
Oh, it's all there.
You know.
And we're not like strolling around in downtown Cabo in it.
No,
We're at
the
our own
pool.
place, in our own pool.
Yeah.
Definitely, I wear my bikini. I have found out, though, if you look in the mirror, for me at least, if I just have a string on each side, as opposed to a whole piece of fabric here, it doesn't crush me in, because what you really want is a smooth silhouette, right? And if something is slightly too tight, you end up with this kind of a
Yes.
silhouette. Don't do that.
No, you don't want that skin.
No, you don't want that little bulge.
No,
So get things that fit.
And I do love, there's some beautiful, sexy
there's some great
one
one
pieces
pieces out there.
And I've
Yes.
nailed them. But I'm just like, why do I feel this way? Because I'm kind of not being truthful with when I say, oh, you know, you can wear what you want, you know. But you know what I mean? So
Yes and no, because I was never told that, actually. What I was told, well, first of all, I wear uniforms to school, so
Right.
there wasn't any fashion dilemmas going on. You better know how to tie your tie. But the only fashion dilemma was me wanting to wear a shorter skirt.
yes,
So I used to get, that was the only time I couldn't wear something like that. And you have to be, we're old fashioned, you have to be proper. But
Right.
which bikini I got to wear was never that.
right.
But then I kept my mother away. Maybe that was it. I don't know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so fashion, on your platform, you talk about fashion, but you have a lot of collectibles that you've had. I mean, your brooches, of course, but
Yes.
you have a lot of staple pieces. What is one piece in your closet that everyone has? And you mentioned foundations, of course.
Yes,
Which-
there's that. But a good pair of shoes and a beautiful bag. And we're such a disposable society here now that in Europe, you have 2 white blouses and you take good care of them.
Yeah.
You don't have 15 of them. Well, I'm guilty of probably 7. So
that's
we're all guilty of that. But it is the quality of the fabric, the tailoring. And I've noticed, since I had my colors redone because of the color of my hair, I have to get rid of a lot that is in my closet. If I'm going to, take her advice. And I understand her advice is good, because Serena was with me when it was happening, and it's all true. And it's not just summer, winter, fall, whatever. It was much more in depth than that. But I know now that bright white is better on me than ivory. Things like that. So I had to have the internal fortitude to go through my ivory blouses. Thank goodness my sister travels a lot, and she took 2 out of 10. But anyway, I digress. So it's important to do that too. So I would say a good pair of shoes, make them sexy, please.
Yeah.
And a good handbag.
Yeah.
And I do stick to neutrals, but men love color. Men typically love color.
Yeah. I'm a color girl.
Yeah, and I love color too. What I can't do too much of is a print, because they're just so memorable, and it's much harder to mix and match.
Right.
You might have a beautiful printed blouse in a blue variegated color silk, and that's going to go underneath a blazer and with a pair of jeans, and sure, you can do that. But I stay away from prints, especially on dresses that are not just one occasion dresses.
Right.
Yeah, so no prints. Well, not no prints, just but color. Color is good.
So you talked earlier about skincare. That's so important. It's so important. Sun protection, but getting your vitamin D.
Yes.
But aging, what else is so important?
It's very easy. It's your mind. Aging is up here. That's why I said when you look in the mirror and you're put together, don't you have a better day? I mean, you can test me on that on a daily basis with 1,000 women. You do something to look good, you look in the mirror and you feel good. Aging is in your head.
Right.
You know, your aches and pains, I'm not dismissing any of that, but between eating well, exercising consistently, that's something else that really puts that in your head. What's that?
Dopamine.
Dopamine. You need that dopamine. So exercising, eating well, and making a conscious effort to be happy. Just quickly, a coincidence. If I'm driving down the road and all of a sudden I just get that hint of sadness, I immediately go back to see what triggered that. If you don't do that, you can continue with this cycle for quite a while.
Wow.
I stop it instantly. I look back, oh, that guy cut me off, or my husband said something, or my daughter and I didn't agree, whatever it was. You go, oh, that's it. You put it in its place and you move on. If you start dragging all of those things with you, you'll never be able to make a corner successfully.
That's true.
You know, and life's about lots of corners.
Lots of corners.
So yeah, I immediately get to the nut of the coconut, I put it in its place, and I move on.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't worry about things I can do nothing about.
That's so great. I've got to learn from you on that.
Yeah, that's a big one. That doesn't mean that you don't care or that you don't want to stay informed. But when you know you can't do anything about it, you can't be ingesting all that poison. You know, poison comes in food, in attitudes, and behaviors, and it's everywhere.
You know what's interesting is I wish I could say I'm a Capricorn and a firstborn, but so I have a struggle with this, but criticism or people, what they think of me, it is diminishing a little bit as I age and mature. Like, okay, that person doesn't like me, it's okay. How do you handle criticism? Because we are on platforms that we are seen.
Right. Okay, I do have a trick for that too. First of all, I always think, consider the source. Let's just say you're going to a restaurant and you look at 100 reviews. Yeti, who cares? I go, you don't know those people. You have no idea what the circumstance was about. Consider the source. So that's the first thing. Second thing, I think, is probably very British. You just turn the other cheek. And the reason you turn the other cheek is, in my mind, slightly different than what it appears to be. When somebody slings an arrow at you and you do not acknowledge it, that enrages that person even more, right? So how much fun is that?
That's true. Yeah.
So that to me is what turning the cheek, I think it had something to do with a duel or something, I don't know. But that's what turning the cheek means to me. I do not respond to negativity.
Right.
Unless it's with my husband. But no.
Speaking of your husband, Scott,
Yes.
what's the secret to a happy marriage?
Oh, communication and tools. Because communication, everybody says, is the secret to a happy marriage. But we don't know how to communicate.
Yeah.
So much for that.
Right.
So I am a real believer in tools. You need tools to build a house. You need tools to build a relationship. You need tools to build a business. You just need tools. And having something that you love to do together. I have noticed that when we travel, regardless, and I usually make those plans because I'm either going to a foreign country I've been to because I want to show it to him. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely for you to this, that, or the other? So when something goes wrong, I'm on edge because I want everything to be perfect.
Sure.
Because I'm in charge, I'm in control, everything's perfect. But when things go wrong, that's when you really get to know somebody. And Scott has done such a fantastic job of going with the flow. You and I would know that if we went to Japan next, and I've not been to Japan, and I don't know if you have or not,
No.
but and we just stumble over things as they come, and that's just life. And we go, okay, that means that around this corner that we accidentally took is some great adventure God wants us to take.
Right.
So I think that is what has helped our marriage.
Wow.
I love to travel with my husband because it's tense, but he relaxes through the tense.
Right. Are y'all different?
I was very, I was very, very proud of him.
That's
yeah,
so
I'm a
great.
wild card, and he's a he's a by the book. And they say that opposites attract, but
Right.
it's also difficult.
Right.
You know, but you can't have two freelancers getting together, and you can't have
No.
some wild card out there gambling while you know.
You can't do that.
So you
Right.
can't do that. Sorry,
Absolutely.
I digress.
Would you suggest to anyone that was wanting to do what you and I are doing today, would you encourage them as large as this space is right now and just packed with people?
Oh, it's so packed you can't be heard.
Yeah, it's hard.
And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you feel like putting your life's experiences out there for somebody else to be able to grow from, go for it. Go for it. Just remember it's got its pitfalls, and people will be people, and you'll be exposed to some people that you really just whatever. Do it for yourself. Maybe that's the answer.
Right.
Do it if you want to do it. Do it for yourself, not for anything else.
You know, I started and I did it for myself, and started this podcast, go figure, in 2020, and just did it all for myself because I was ready to do something, and I felt like I was in a space with television of you're going to be replaced, you're going to be put out to pasture. And I was afraid because I was like, I don't know how to do this. I didn't even know what a podcast was. I didn't know what it was when a young man said.
So were you in television at some point?
Mm-hmm.
Because during your chef days.
Yes.
Oh, fabulous.
Yes.
So you were already set up.
Yes.
There is
yes.
nothing to fear.
Yes.
You have more freedom now.
Yes.
You probably make more money.
Isn't that the truth?
You know?
So yeah.
Yes.
So it was taking that, and I do tell women that ask me, especially on my platform, how do you change careers? Okay, I'm an attorney and I earn 6-7 figures and I want to be a Pilates instructor. If you're prepared, like you said
Yes,
earlier.
save up your money.
Yeah, and if you're prepared,
Yeah.
like you said earlier, yes. But again, this space has helped me in ways that I have people like you on. I have doctors on.
Yes.
I get free therapy for sure. But yeah, I say do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, definitely. And one reason to do it too is I am so joyously surprised. I can go anywhere. Let's just say in the United States, and I can get in touch with somebody on Instagram that I admire or want to get to know, and we get together for lunch. I would know nobody in Dallas if it wasn't for some of my Instagram friends that took me under their wing. So if you want to have brand new relationships with women that are simpatico with your lifestyle, it is great. Stay in touch with them. Do not fear reaching out to them and saying, I've got a 6-hour layover in Atlanta.
Right. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Except for passing through security. Neither here nor there.
That's you're in Dallas, and your group brought me over.
Yes.
And I'm in Fort Worth. There's not a lot of us over here doing this.
Well, you need to introduce me to your group.
Yes. Absolutely.
See what I mean? That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Expanding your horizons.
Yeah.
And remember, can't is not a word.
It's not a word. It's not. Okay, my final, I prompted you this. I want you to finish this sentence for me.
Oh my gosh.
Fabulous has no expiration date because
I can say it in 1 or 2 or 3 words, because aging is in your head. You're in complete control of that, not to diminish, however crotchety my body's getting, but up here is where aging is. So if you start controlling that, that's my advice. It's the attitude. Aging is in your attitude.
Do you actually know how fabulous you are?
No.
You are. I just love you. I
thank
just
you.
should have met you forever ago. You know, that's the thing. You know, you meet these
Well, yes, but we also know that we meet at just the right time.
people. We sure do.
And there are no coincidences, ladies.
There's
no
coincidences
coincidences.
at all. Madam, how can we find you? How can our followers find you?
Oh, well, so Style Beyond Age, I was named by my daughters because we wanted to examine everything about aging. So Style Beyond Age on Instagram, Facebook. I have a website which I am kind of slack about, and wherever else.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Are you on TikTok?
No,
Oof.
I'm not getting on TikTok. I don't want to pick up one more thing, you know? So I am getting older.
She's
Boundaries,
boundaries,
ladies.
boundaries.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, precious
thank
friend.
you.
Please
You're a
come
sweetheart.
back for sure. And everyone, I hope that you took a little bit of this podcast today, tuck it in your pocket and think about it, and message us if we can ever help you, because we're here. We are here. We're not going anywhere. And I say this every single Tuesday. Keep being fabulous.